They're so much fun.
Welcome, you guys. You're live with Rick Dancer, Get Real with Rick Dancer, and we are on Green Island, which this is land owned by the Mckenzie River Trust. And Joe Mole, the executive director, is going to be here in just a second to talk with us about that. Sponsor of the show is Dave Kammerer from Summit Funding. There's a tie here. There really is, I promise you. The Mckenzie River Trust is all about land up and down the Mckenzie. And there's a performance going on at the Eugene Symphony. Dave is on the board there. And it's going to be called The Four Seasons of the Mckenzie, coming up on February 15th. And while the two are not connected directly, there is this connection because you guys are kind of part of the whole show. You're providing all kinds of information and video and pictures. And this is Joe. This is Dave Kammerer. So where are we? What is this Green Island place where we're located?
So where we are currently is about a mile downstream of the confluence of the Mckenzie and the Willamette rivers. So if you can imagine, over the last 10,000 years, those rivers have shifted back and forth, and where they meet has shifted back and forth. And Green Island's this big base of land, kind of like an hourglass, where the old Mckenzie Channel goes around to the east, the Willamette comes around to the west. In 1964, that confluence changed. It pushed it upstream about 4.5 miles. The downstream end of Green Island is that old confluence. So in the winter, the river still comes up and crosses into this floodplain and just re-inhabits the place that it has for millennia.
So how many acres do you guys have out here?
We have about 1,100 as a part of Green Island that the Mckenzie River Trust owns, and then there are another 200 or 300 of state lands and some private lands nearby.
So yeah,
There's Spencer Butte right there.
It is.
so Spencer Butte's behind us. So what, you guys have done some planting out here.
Yeah, if you look, we've got, some people it strikes them funny because it's planted in rows, but imagine we're tree farmers right now for Fish and Wildlife Habitat. So we have tractors that come through here and mow and spray and other things to get them to grow. But over time, some will die. If we walk down this way a little way, you're gonna find this big open area where about 60 were taken out by some beavers. They come in under cover of darkness and take out the trees and get them into the river. So you're gonna see this natural patchiness arrive. Some will just die.
Seals, man, right?
Exactly, yeah, under the cover of darkness.
So why would an organization like Mckenzie River Trust, why would you want this land, this 1,100 acres?
So there's a big effort, has been for the last 50 years, to sort of make the Willamette River system healthy again. We took it down pretty hard. We built to its edges. We took away a lot of this floodplain forest. This is where the river breathes, especially this time of year when it comes up in floodwaters. This is where water gets cooled and filtered. It's where Chinook salmon that are making their way downstream as little fry, they're getting in here and they're fattening up. They're getting out of the way of the flood. They're hiding from predators. It's a nursery for fish and wildlife. And the more that we can provide buffers to the stream of the river that we say, the healthier that system's going to be. Places like this, Rick, also help from a flood attenuation standpoint. If you look at what happened in Katrina and Houston and other places, when you take away the meanders of the river and you take away that buffer system, the river just becomes a powerful fire hose, and whatever is in its way is going to get taken down. If we can back away a little bit where there are opportunities to give the river a chance. I remember as a kid learning about the Nile, it comes up and it spreads out and it brings this wealth to the fertile land. That's what rivers like this do.
Right.
High in the mountains, the Mckenzie's a fast-moving, steep slope stream, but here, this is, it's reminiscent of what you see in the east with the Mississippi and the Ohio, these big meandering side channels. We've got a side channel here right in front of us, just seasonal water. That's what this area evolved to do. And it really does help both anybody who lives here, but everybody who uses the river downstream. More and more cities downstream are drawing from the Mckenzie Willamette River for their drinking water. This is an investment in the future.
So how does this performance that the symphony is doing, your name's all over it. Summit Funding is sponsoring it. That's Dave Kammerer. Him right there. I got my hands full. So how does that help you guys and your efforts on the Mckenzie?
At the end of the day, we're just, we're just real estate and land management and fish and wildlife guys. We're kind of geeky about that. And I think for most of us in the area, you don't think too much about the river. You don't have the chance to realize that every time you pull a glass of water or take a shower or drink a beer or a glass of wine or something, that's the river. That's the river itself. And for us, anything we can do to give people a chance to stop and appreciate what we have in this area, not only for what we have today, but what it's going to mean 100 years from now for our children's children, that helps. The more we can get the word out, and the arts do that. The arts give us a chance to stop and think and appreciate and expand our vision.
So Dave, what's the performance about?
It's about honoring this area. It's very special. Like, I grew up here, so I know how special it is. But like you say, we forget about it. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
And water is life. It's a big deal.
So we're driving down here, and Dave's going, "Oh, I know exactly where we are. I know what this is." I don't. I don't. I've been out places a lot, but he knew exactly what we're talking about.
Well, I grew up on the river like you did. I've been down here in rafts, and when I was really stupid on inner tubes, But
So that was last year.
Yeah, recently. But you learn a lot of stuff, and like I like a lot of music that describes rivers. Like, I think about Old Black Water, the Doobie Brothers, right?
Yeah,
That's a great one.
Keep on rolling.
But it's just any kind of music that has that features a body of water like this, I think it really is inspiring.
So
I'm looking forward to that part of it.
So what they're doing is on the 15th, there's going to be a visual performance while the Eugene Symphony is playing music, and it's going to be the 4 different seasons. So a local production company is putting this together, and you'll be able to watch videos, see old pictures and new pictures, and it's going to be like, so it's going to be just a really different kind of Eugene Symphony performance, and you can't beat it with the music. And anything that brings attention to the Mckenzie and what we're doing out here and what you guys are doing, I think there's a tie, I think there's a connection there. So show us around a little bit.
Let's head out to the river. We're just a short walk down, and you can see that any of the 2 tracks out here, these were built up. These were built up as dikes in a sense, because the river came in all the time, and it would take months for things to dry out enough for them. We passed an old flooded ferry until that '64 flood changed things. The Green family and their workers would take an electric ferry and haul their equipment back and forth. They never built out here. They never had a home out here because the river was just present all the time.
So the river will come up here when it wants to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is the floodplain.
This is the floodplain itself. Yeah.
This will be underwater at some point.
A little bit of trivia. This is where they filmed some of the river crossing scenes for the movie The Way West. Were you an extra in that? A lot of people around
Dave,
town
were you an extra in that movie there, Dave? Huh? Yeah, The Way West. This is Cowboy Dave Camberer.
Sally Field's debut.
That's that's a movie
Yeah.
from way back. I know what he's talking about. I was a little kid then, so
A.G. Guthrie. Sally Field's
absolutely, it's a
debut.
very famous movie.
Rich history.
So again, you guys,
And
we are
the
on Green Island.
The Green family worked hard, and people from all over have worked here. They grew everything. They grew carrots, a lot of mint. We still have hops growing wild up in some of these trees.
Seriously.
That came out of their fields from back in the day. And you talked to Karen, who's still around. Her husband Les was the lead family farmer here. According to Karen, they would take a trip out in the morning and in the evening and drive the perimeter of the island every day just to check out the wildlife and see what was here.
Huh.
So it really was something that they were hopeful that we and others would be able to do, and that's what allowed us to acquire this place and begin to restore it back to natural floodplain.
So how can we support the trust?
We're a nonprofit, just like the symphony. So we have, last year we crossed the 1,000-member threshold. And anybody can become a member by supporting us. Our website, McKenzieRiver.org. And we have events. The events we have out here, and then for projects like this. See the weeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're making. I
Like
paid
the
them
symphony
extra.
has a gala event every year for fundraising.
Yeah, we don't do a gala. We
Do you
don't
do something
a gala.
like that?
Primarily just direct donor appeals, some small events, and grants.
Got it.
People have asked, but I think
Do you accept
as a-
legacy stuff?
we do. We have benefited from a handful of really nice estate gifts.
Very nice.
But
Oh my God.
there it is.
Okay, hang on, guys. Here we go, guys.
There you go.
So this is the Mckenzie.
This is the Willamette River. The
Okay, this is-
confluence is now up to our left about a mile,
Okay.
but until 1964 it
There's
was
some
down to our
Mckenzie
right.
right in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's
mixed in.
still mixing. Rick, until the dams were put in
Uh-huh.
in the 50s and 60s, in summer, flowing past Portland, 40% of the Willamette River came from the Mckenzie.
Really?
That's how stable and just important the Mckenzie River is to the system overall.
So you guys, this is the Willamette River. And a mile that direction
Yes.
is the confluence where the Mckenzie comes into the Willamette and feeds into this river, which is why this piece of property is so important.
Yeah.
I have been on here on a raft this last summer.
I
So-
recognize this.
So if you look down that way, Rick, you see some tall cottonwoods.
Yeah.
And then a gap that looks like a bite, and then some other tall cottonwoods. Until 2006, the river took a hard right, then a hard left all the way around, and then came back like a big thumb. And in 2006-07, it cut right through there. That was forest all the way across.
Took it out.
And it took out about 10 acres. And that's just what the river does.
So you were saying too that Coburg, the reason Coburg's where it is, it used to be closer to the river.
I think twice over the last 150 years.
So they moved
They
to
kept
town.
moving it further and further east until they found bedrock, because the river's meanders just kept taking it out.
They have a big, heavy winter. Oh, gotta move it again.
Coburg's moving. We're up and hiking.
Luckily, there's
into
land this direction.
No wonder they didn't put foundations under those houses. They were moving them all the time.
Now they're solid, so they invested in the sewage system.
Now they've
Sticks in here, right?
Yeah. Once the sewer went in, they were stuck and going to stay there. So
what's also amazing is, you can't, if you just stop and you experience the quiet. This is like a wilderness experience.
Oh yeah.
But 3 miles in that direction is North Eugene. This is an incredible resource, so close to town, and it's just something again that we're just fortunate to have and to be here.
will there be a point, and I don't know, maybe there already is, where people can come out here and use this and hike it?
We do an annual event in the summer. This year it will be in mid-June. This year we're coordinating with groups around the state on Get Outdoors Oregon Day. And then we do a handful of tours. For example, we'll do a bird watching tour or a dragonflies tour. We also now do a lot more volunteer planting. So in the coming 2 weeks, we've got 3 volunteer planting days for people that want to come out and experience rain-free days like this, right?
Yeah. So
It's
how do
actually
people
pretty nice.
find you? Because I know you guys are really good on social media about letting people know. So you have a Facebook page.
McKenzieRiver.org, and if you just look up Mckenzie River Trust on Facebook, you will find us there as well.
So that's a way you can find out when those planting days are, when those trips are going to be, and all the information's on there. And like I said, once they like your page, you don't have to even look. It comes on really fast.
Yeah.
So Dave, while we're here, Cameron and I are, we've known each other, but we really became friends when we joined a networking group. I joined his networking group called the Oregon Networking Exchange. And it's a group of about 20, 25 people, and we're like each other's sales force.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really close, tight-knit group of people, and we're always looking for members, people in different categories. Now, Dave's with Summit Funding, so there's only one funder, there's only one video producer like myself, and so every category has those people. We're looking for construction people, we're looking for property management folks, and just any other kind of category. So what we're doing for the next few months is if you guys come to our meeting on Tuesday, 3:30, Dickie Joe's in the back, we'll buy you each, whoever comes in will buy you a beer. Your first beer's on us, and we want you to see what we're about. And then if you pass the muster, we may vote you in.
That's accurate.
Or today we vote you off the island. Literally. so since we're the only 2 on the island, I guess we get voted
It's
off.
an easy one.
So again, the Mckenzie River Trust, go find out more about it, what they're doing. We're being bombarded by wildlife. And the other thing is take this, post it on your page to let other people know what's going on. And then don't forget the 4 seasons of the Mckenzie Eugene Symphony performance on February the 15th. You need to get your tickets because it is going to go quickly.
There's education events surrounding that as well.
So it's going to be big.
Be part of that.
And it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And I think they actually got me some video. Travel Lane County got me a little bit of the video that's going to run in it that they said I can put on my Facebook page and also put in the show.
Nice.
So we're going to continue to look around a little, so I have some video to show you while we're doing this. But for the show for now, Joe, is there anything else we need to tell people?
Just take a break, appreciate the river, appreciate what we have here, take care of each other, take care of
Thanks
this
for what you
place.
do, Joe.
We were just
Very
out
nice.
a week and a half ago with Michelle Emmons,
Oh,
a
really?
mutual friend of
Nice.
ours, and she's
Yeah.
with the Willamette River Keepers, and they were cleaning up the Willamette. So a lot of stuff you can get involved in if you, rather than just feel bad about the river being polluted, go clean it up. There's ways to do things. No guilt. Dave, Thanks for sponsoring the
Thank
show.
you, Rick.
Thanks for
Thank you,
sponsoring
Joe.
the symphony event too.
My
And
pleasure.
spread this around, pass it around. I will see you tomorrow. We got shows all week, but most of them are at night. We're going to Whiskey Wednesday on 6th Street Bar and Grill on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, we're going to introduce you to a man who has a kind of a checkered past, and he's using that to help kids. All week, we got something for you. So we'll see you later. Have a good week. This is Get Real with Rick Dancer.